we have any new members here that have not been here before? Where are you from? Which HOA?
Me? States East. The whole row.
They finally got their HOA up and running.
Nice.
You have their information?
I talked to Kimberly
All
and I
right.
get more information.
They're all here, there's a whole row
Hi,
in the
girl.
back.
We're glad you're on board, man.
You're from where?
We're from, Island Green.
Yeah,
What
we're all
community?
What part?
There's like a million HOA. There's
I-
24. Oh, geez,
26.
seriously, we don't know,
What
cause
street do you live on?
on Sunnehanna Circle.
Okay, you are.
Okay.
Island
Yeah.
Green Plantation.
We got Tyler
That's
representing us.
Bob, that's Island Green Phase 1.
Right.
I got the proper name for it, okay? You don't have an HOA yet.
We don't?
And it's organized HOA, no.
What does that mean?
That means it's running rapid.
That means you're elected.
You can be president.
We hope.
Okay, Beth, did you say we do
We
have a
have
quorum?
13 HOAs. I need it back, I'm taking it back. Yes, I did. Yes, we have 13 HOAs.
Okay.
I have a question. If we don't have an HOA, how come we're paying a monthly fee?
You have a management.
Who are you paying it to?
Not sure.
You have an HOA, it's still,
If you're
It's
paying
still with
money
the
to
developer.
somebody,
Okay.
your Tyler, your management, anytime there's a new development, the developer holds on to it as long as they can. And then just like Oak Estates, you know, right now you probably have the numbers that you should try and form an HOA. Like not form an HOA, but have, residents represent you, not the developer.
Okay.
I'd be paying money to somebody.
Well, they took it out of our, they took the first payment or two payments out of our mortgage payment, and we received something in the mail for something that's due April 1st to an HOA, but I don't remember who it's to.
Well, that's who you contact.
Okay.
And ask them what's paying for.
Do you know anything about their HOA?
I don't know anything about their particular HOA.
I can give you the guy's name and number. And it first service residential, I mean, your paperwork should have where you're sending the payments to.
First service, I believe that's who it is.
Yeah, that's who it is, that's a management company, but if you want afterwards, I'll get you Tyler's name and number.
Okay.
Okay.
Good, you can, I didn't even know.
Yeah, right.
We do have a certification of a quorum. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting?
Nancy Johnston.
I'll approve it.
Anybody else second it?
You weren't here.
Motion and approved.
Well, I read it.
You read them.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, minutes are approved. Bob, you wanna go into the treasurer's report?
Certainly. For the most part, we are paid up. There's a couple, I know the number looks low, but it's one of our bigger HOAs and the check's coming, or the check probably is there today. I believe the manager was on vacation, so those numbers are good. We filed our income taxes, got that done for the year, 300 for the accountant, had to send 86 to the feds, 14 to South Carolina. Apparently the HOAs have to pay taxes on interest, like from banks, like CDs. Never knew that because we never collected interest before, so learned something new, which I guess is good about this new interest rate environment. One of the only things is just kind of bring it to everyone's attention. With regards to savings and reserves, we moved over the full 9,500 that's budgeted for this year over to to the savings and reserves. We also spent about 7,500. We're getting the camera systems at the front entrance are getting upgraded. We are able to get internet on that, so they're gonna be internet compatible. We're gonna have a license plate reader on the in and out, and a total of 6 cameras, 4 other cameras. The old system was just obsolete. It was more than 5 years old. It was not functioning properly. It wasn't functioning, when we needed it, so that's where we are. Wanted to be proactive before the whole thing just broke. Otherwise, that's the only big expenses, unless anyone has any other questions on the
Will
financials.
residents be able to look at the
For
cameras?
privacy, no, Bill's basically taking point on that now. That's not to, oh, geez, I'm sorry. That's not to say that we couldn't use a couple other volunteers to help monitor the cameras. If you do need something for legal reasons or whatever, contact Bill. That's the easiest thing. And then we can go from there. It's not the hardest system to learn, but it's not the easiest system either.
I have a
Yes,
question.
ma'am.
Will the new system, have software so you can enable rules? So it'll trigger an alert if it sees a car between like 3 and 6 a.m. or anything like that?
No, they'll just record the car coming in and they'll record the car going out.
That's what the new system will do, just record?
I mean, it does now, but because it's at night with the old cameras, it's very hard to tell. Make the car, the plate reader sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't. With the new system, we won't have that issue. And we're adding, like Bob said, we're adding a plate reader on the way out, so we'll know the exact time things happen. Something happened a week ago, a couple of weeks ago. A refrigerator was stolen. A gentleman contacted me. I was able to find the refrigerator leaving. So it gave me somewhat of a time span, so I was able to go backwards. Found that car coming in with the trailer empty. Was able to get the plate, sent it to the gentleman, where it ended up from there out.
They don't have to physically go down to the guard shack because
Oh,
they have
at that check?
So,
Yeah.
is the video gonna be stored somewhere, and how long is it? gonna
It's
be
good for
stored?
what, 2 weeks or something?
Actually, with the old system, it'll overwrite after a year.
Oh, a year, okay.
I'm hoping the new system, I asked that question, they said it all depends on how much traffic and all of that goes out. But we upgraded to,
Yes, ma'am.
If a video clip is part of the ongoing investigation, how is that clip preserved if you go over your storage capacity?
You can save it on a hard drive.
it would be saved on a thumb drive.
Okay.
Like I've been contacted by police, they ask me to look for things, and if we find something. With the old system, we had to burn a CD, and then had to bring it home and transfer it to a thumb drive. Now we'll just be able, they'll call me, I can look right from my house, put it on a thumb drive, and give them a thumb drive.
Okay. Can you email it to them?
I'm sure they're gonna want the hard evidence, probably gonna want the thumb drive.
Okay.
If it's police involvement. If it's somebody like you who wants to know something, and I find it, yeah, I can email it to you.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
are all the cameras gonna be just coming in?
No,
Okay,
there's cameras,
okay.
when the cameras work, you got different angles of the road, coming in and going out.
How far down are the cameras gonna be?
I can see, till you make your first right if you're coming in.
Okay, alright,
And going out, I can tell if you're making a left or right once you leave
okay.
the guard check.
So they're gonna have nothing for the back of our communities? They're gonna
Not
have
at this
nothing in the-
time.
We're trying.
That's one of the
No,
things
just
that,
answer-
no, and it's a great question. One of our future plans is we wanna expand that camera system.
Yeah,
When we talk with the tech, he's coming on the 19th to install it. We've gotta find out how far that internet works.
right.
What we've gotta do, now, one thing that he did bring to our attention, the tech from SGC, solar powered cameras have gotten a lot more affordable. And that gives us the option to have cameras, you know, that aren't tied into an electric source.
Right.
Then the next thing we gotta find out is, you know, we might have to put like some type of relay system with the internet, but we do wanna have the system expanded into key areas of, you know, major points of contact. You know, what Bill and I have thought, and this is just brainstorming, this is nothing definite,
Right.
but some of the key areas they're gonna need it is the bridge going over Belmonte into the other way, kinda in and out on there. Another key intersection, obviously, St. Andrews and Sunnehanna.
Right.
Another one is down here at St. Andrews and Island Green South. Just kinda those key areas where there's traffic and, you know, things going in and out.
See, we're experiencing a lot of traffic coming from the yacht club. People's coming through our yards from that yacht club off the Bay Road. But they're kids in their 20s and 30s, they're all doped up and drunk. And I don't know what's gonna happen, you know, like, I followed two guys to that house, to that golf house. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here? You know, the guy's like, who the fuck are you? And I'm like, whoa, take it easy. So I told him, I just said it, I said, I'm part of the HOA here. He goes, well, I'm allowed to walk anywhere I want. You know, and like, things can get physical here, you know what I mean?
They have 24-hour security, so I would contact Myrtle Beach Golf and Yacht.
Okay.
And they're gonna tell you they're on your property. You can have our
But
property.
they're coming in on mini bikes.
I have them on my
Golf
property
carts,
too. I have
yeah.
a ditch behind me, they climb the
Yeah.
ditch and come out onto
There's a
Sunny
girl
Hill.
walking around
So we
stealing
just
toys
yell at
from
them and put
people's yards.
signs up,
Yeah.
you know, it's kids, ours are young kids, ours are little kids, young kids.
Well, I've heard that they have a lot of issues at Myrtle Beach Yacht and Golf with homeless people living there wherever they can squat.
Have homeless everywhere.
So those people may not necessarily be living in Myrtle Beach.
And these are all issues that we wanted to be sharing with security. I mean, the best thing to do, the security's here from 7:30 to 7 to 3 every night. Call, document it, because then it gets part of the report. The more these things get documented, the more they're part of the report, the more we can use the information. Mark Elliott is our main guard. Not to say the other guards, you know, don't know as much as Mark, but Mark's your key guy. You know, make sure that you're talking to him if you can, like, to report these things. But, you know, people in the clubhouse and stuff like that shouldn't be going on.
Are you talking about the old broken down yellow yacht?
That's the one.
That's what I think he's talking about.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay, so in other words,
Right near
people
Belmonte.
can go in and out of it and across the bridge.
And that's been going on for years, unfortunately.
Yeah, but it's getting, I understand that,
Yeah.
trust me, I'm from Orange, trust me, everybody, you know, New Jersey.
Right, and we, yeah.
It's getting bad though.
No, and that needs to be documented. Even if you call every single day to say, I've seen this activity and security puts it on the reports, at least then we have something we can go to the police with.
There was a guy washing in the pond. He was washing in the pond.
Wiping his hands.
What kind of shit? You know what I mean? No, seriously, Bob, you know?
Oh,
Call the police.
It's crazy. I mean, who am I to tell somebody you can't clean yourself? You know what I mean? I mean, I feel bad. You don't have nowhere to live. I feel horrible. Like the lady that's always on Freewoods. She washes herself in the brook there, you know, in the drain, and she's taking toys from people's houses and selling them. I caught her down on Bay Road with 2 toys.
Man, I just thought the shower was where we. Yes, sir.
In regards to, security and the timeline of 7 to 3, I know they're in the guardhouse from 7 to 9, but if there's a request for assistance, are they allowed to?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yes.
Okay, we were told they couldn't.
Okay. I don't know who told you that, but that's not accurate information. I mean, we're asking to be there from 7 to 9 as a physical presence, greet people. They get a call at 7:05, they're gone.
Okay.
The priority is the call, all day long, and that's what we've asked them to do, and then basically from 9 to 3, they patrol.
At the end of the meeting, come up and look at these, these are the written reports that I get daily from the guards.
It's best that you interact with security directly, and then if you feel you're not getting an appropriate or satisfactory response, then bring it to our attention. But I mean, it's a very hard thing to manage the personnel. They're getting paid.
Right.
Use it. Every one of you in this room, every one of us in the community is paying for it. Use that service, call them up. Even if you have questions, concerns, whatever, I mean, we've heard that Mark is pretty responsive as long as he'll come to the house and
And
talk to
don't
you.
wait for our meetings. We have a website.
Right.
Contact us on our website if you don't feel like you're getting appropriate response at the guardhouse or with interactions with Mark.
We just ask you to make that first contact, if possible, with security using that phone number. First of all, then it's documented. And second of all, it's kind of weird hours. I mean, I'm not the best at answering my phone between 7 at night and 3 in the morning.
I just spoke to somebody and was over at Fairway, at the yacht club, and they said as far as they know, they don't know of any homeless people living in there.
I haven't
My
seen
daughter's,
yours
I've
out
had
there.
2 residents tell me that they have homeless people.
Well, the kids get
I'm right across, I'm right there. They come through yards right to my front yard. They cross my property every day. Every day,
Well, Fairway Village is where all the
every other day.
crime.
It used to be.
Well, that's not on spot crime, if they have it listed on.
Yeah, but, yeah, there was a couple a while back where some things are going on in Fairway Village. Those people that did are no longer living there. There were people that were coming through, what's that court?
There's burglaries.
Kelsey,
Kelsey Court, they were coming through, they put a fence there to stop them. Fairway Village,
Burglaries there.
I don't know.
It's recent.
I've been there 8 years, my condo's empty and nobody's ever broke into it.
Yeah, but it's on spot crime. If you go on there, they will, it's updated, David, as to what the police reports are for the area. And has all the time.
No, like I said, I have a condo there.
There's nobody notifying our security or us of it, so.
Well, the police have been notified for burglary.
We still on treasurer's report?
I think we're passing, unless you have a treasurer's report question. Okay. Okay. I didn't. All right.
Financial, no.
Now, I'm done with the treasury report unless anyone has a question. We can end on that note.
Summary incident report.
There's,
Incident report.
at the end of your packet, there's the incident report. If there's any questions, this is what I can give you. I abbreviate them as much as I can. No names are mentioned, no house numbers are mentioned in the report. And so far this month, there's nothing going on. It's been very quiet, so. The lady in the back.
I'm sorry, I live down on Tall Oaks Court, and I was wondering, has anybody said to you as far as how fast the cars come down there to go back down, I guess, what are they, apartments or condos?
I mean, nothing specifically, although I'd be scared to death to walk back there. I mean,
Well, that's
I've
it.
almost gotten
I
run
think
over about
I've
7
seen his
times.
friend.
Yeah, I mean, I being back there, and sometimes if I'm doing some maintenance on the road or the bushes, I've almost been run over several times. People just drive through like crazy.
Is there anything we can do, or?
Not really. I mean, it's tough to enforce because these are basic private roads. County police won't come in and enforce. And, unless you catch them, security catch them, but it just it's a safety, common sense issue, unfortunately. I mean, throw rocks at the cars when they're driving that fast. Other than that.
I just, like I said,
It's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary, and then you add on sometimes how overgrown the trees and bushes are, and you don't even see what's coming at you.
Right.
It's scary.
That's a big problem throughout all of Island Green, not just certain
I figured the potholes stop on the front.
They help a little. They're kind of like anti-speed bumps, they're just in the other direction.
Is the road gonna get done?
No.
It's
We
like people
were
down.
told, important that they were doing the road before they left, that's what we were
Well,
told.
they also, before they left, means the construction of 300 other houses, which could be anywhere from 3 to 5 years from now. So, sorry they told you that.
That's okay.
I had a question, but it's not, it's coded. I noticed like when I walk my dog, that, there are people who leave trash, or, it's just minor things, and also down by the pond. And I really go, I'm afraid to go down and try to pick up trash. in the
Don't,
pond.
please don't. There's gators out there.
But is there anything, I guess not. that
I
we
mean,
can do?
outside of
Look at Freewood
volunteers,
Look at Freewood Road right now.
Oh, it's a mess after all the.
And you have to blame the county for that, because the men's golf club here went out once a month to clean it, and they were told they could no longer do it for safety purposes. So, and there's bags of garbage and everything there.
It's just sad, you see like the town is so pretty, and then people, bottles or something like that, empty bottles. and
sad.
stuff.
You mentioned these are private roads and not county-run roads, so what does the speed limit signs purpose then?
It's a suggestion.
Okay.
Yeah,
They're
just
more
like,
like guides.
We hope.
It's like, we're telling you, if you don't have common sense, please drive that speed, but, you know, like, most of the problems that we have are just, they're just unenforceable. It sucks.
I have a question. Since the road isn't gonna be done for so long, can some of the CSA budget be allocated to patching the roads?
Yes, and that's
It is.
projects that we're working on. Dan has been one of the best volunteers
Right,
around.
yeah.
He's been doing a lot of the work himself, volunteer-wise. We're coordinating to get out there, if weather permitting, not this week, but the following week. But and that's something we're gonna have to do in the near future. Up to this point, and there's been several different phases and timelines. In the past, we have raised large sums of money, had companies come in, we've raised medium sums of money with volunteers. Over the last year or two, it was decided that D.R. Horton had a vested interest in keeping that road maintained because they were selling those houses. And for better or for worse, they did provide some on and off maintenance. Now, they're done. They've got maybe 10 more houses to sell. They don't have any houses in the near future, so it's gonna fall back on the CSA shoulders to patch those potholes for the community until the next phase. Now, we think it was a good decision at the, you know, for the fact, and it worked out, because I mean, basically the construction trucks were tearing up the road more. And D.R. Horton did have somewhat of a vested interest while they were selling properties. Right now, they have zero interest, because they're not, they're done. They're selling the sales center, and there will be further development in here. There's no guarantee it will be D.R. Horton, or it might be a different company. Just at this point, it's
So
unknown.
you think it's gonna be like 5 years before they develop further?
I'm just giving you a guess based on what's happened. I mean, even if they approve the next phase today, it would be 6 to 12 months of land clearing and infrastructure to minimum. And then I know the county's backed up with, you know, plans, everything. I mean, that's just a guess, 3 to 5 years. We've been saying 3 to 5 years for 18 years now. So.
The only thing is up.
Yes, ma'am.
That was my question, was where's the 3 to 5 years coming from? Okay, so there's nothing beyond building plan wise with D.R. Horton, of what they're finishing up on Kelsey Court?
To the best of my knowledge, there's nothing approved with the county right now. There are thoughts and plans, or not thoughts, there are schematics and drawings and plans on what it would look like, that's very likely. But until it gets deeded and platted by the county, there's nothing that's totally guaranteed.
I have a question. I understood that all the houses in here, there should be more than one road in and out, but they were grandfathered or something because of the county.
That's a
So,
pretty,
and they wanna put more houses in? People are gonna be as it is with a road in that condition? Is there any legal way to get someone fixed?
Nope.
no.
All you can do is
And
go to the county zoning when they it comes
And what you're
up.
saying is very realistic. We fought that battle years ago and lost. I don't, we can't take too much time in the meeting. I'd be more than happy to give you some history on it, but it's a lost battle. It's gonna be one entrance and exit. They're gonna build another 300 homes someday. The county basically indicates that there is a requirement by the end of the construction that the road be improved to a certain standard by the developer, but once again, the developer that's there now could sell it to another company tomorrow, or they could stay with it for years.
Okay, I have another question.
Mm-hmm.
Along, say you come off of the bridge off of Norwich, the one over by the condos.
Okay.
And you go around that bend.
Mhm.
Whose road is that? The reason I ask, there's like, I've got someone that might volunteer to clean that up and stuff, but we don't know who to go to for permission.
I'd have to look at the exact location, but most likely that's part of the road agreement back there between Dogwood, the new phase that the Orange just built, and Oak Estates.
Well, like, there's trees growing on the road, on the edge of the road. There's dirt and stuff that could be cleaned up and make the whole place look better. Like I said, we don't know who to get permission from to do it.
It's like at the very end of the.
And I think the area that we're talking about, there is a road agreement in place. And this is my understanding that Oak Estates is contributing toward a road fund with Dogwood. Debbie Potter's management. Is Debbie here?
No.
No. That's my understanding. I can put you in touch with the people. I mean, as for if volunteers wanted to go up there and clean out the road, there's not a person that's gonna stop a volunteer from doing
We
something.
just, legally, we wanna make sure we're not gonna.
Legally, go for it. I'm at the point where I don't care. I cut down branches off the golf course all the time because otherwise people can't see when they're walking their dogs and they're gonna get run over. At least you'll see the car speeding towards you as you get run over instead of just completely getting blindsided. But if you wanted, you guys want to volunteer to clear those roads, please.
Another question, some of the trees along the edge of that road, they're sticking out a lot, like the school bus goes by, hits the buses and stuff. Is it okay to trim those?
I'm not gonna stop you. I mean,
Plow
and my attitude is, I've cut those trees down many times. I mean, if someone wants to stop us from trying to make things safer and volunteering our time, I mean, go for it, take us to court. I mean, the only person would be the golf course owner, and he's not here. So,
Hey, Bob.
yes.
Real quick, just last question from me. Next to my house, okay, on Center Circle, there's a lot now that's empty, they put grass down, Who owns that lot? I talked to,
I mean, here's the thing, talk to me after the meeting or call me. I have the maps, if I can identify the lot number, I can definitely answer your question.
I'll call you.
Yeah.
Thank you, I'm sorry about
No, that's okay. I mean, it's just a very specific question
Yeah.
that I can answer it with the proper resources.
You got it.
Anything else?
Do you have a question back here, sir?
I thought you were putting a pool in there.
They won't let me.
Okay, any of the board members here have anything they'd like to report on? Carol?
Just on the front entrance, we got together and put some Easter decorations up for Easter. The little bunnies, so be good for Easter.
Carol takes care of the whole front by herself. And I'm sure she could use some volunteer help if you're interested in doing that also. Right?
Yeah, of course, but I mean, when I say I take care of the front entrance, I just get people to help me because I just get the money and I say, well, you can do this.
I've noticed some cute little things that you put
But
up.
anytime anybody wants to help, they're more than, And I appreciate it, and I always do say thank you. If I don't, then I apologize, but I always say thank you, to bring a little bagel to somebody or something. I try to,
Bagel, I want a steak.
Gotta volunteer first.
Let's see, can I put some, Irish decorations up, St. Patty's Day?
You can,
Okay, alright,
I don't have any.
no, I haven't touched it, thank you. Thank you.
Do you have anything?
No, well, I gave Bob a thing about the community yard sale, if he wants to report on that.
Do you mind talking about this? I mean, I can read it, but I don't know. Sorry. This is Alice.
Hi guys, I'm Alice. I volunteer for CSA and I also volunteer for my HOA, which is Green Springs
Patio homes.
Because I often get that confused with the other Green Springs, so I have to make sure I'm doing that right. For those of you who are new, the past few years we have been collaborating with other HOAs to do a big yard sale that incorporates all of Island Green. Everybody's invited to attend or participate, including our condo neighbors. Island Green East with Deborah Godman has graciously volunteered their pool parking lot to host tables or tents for folks who don't have a yard of their own or a driveway. It's $2 to participate. You can sign up on the CSA website. There's gonna be emails, there's gonna be Facebook events, Facebook posts. We're gonna put it on Google, Nextdoor, and the newspaper. I'm missing something, but it's okay because it's all on the website. I wrote that all down so I didn't have to remember everything. Go to the website, look at the multi-community yard sale page, and you'll get more information. If anybody is interested in helping to volunteer some of our older residents, move some furniture outside, we could always use another pair of hands. Yard sale is going to be on the 20th of April, and the rain date is going to be the following Sunday, and that's going to go from 9 to 1. But we all know 8 to 1. But we all know everybody's going to start showing up at 7, so you may want to get a jump start on that.
So your garage sales are all located in one area? We don't have it?
No, so if you want to have a garage sale, you would just let us know, so that way we can promote your address while we're promoting everybody else's address. So you just come outside and you set up shop. Within each HOA, you'd be responsible for putting up your own signs. Green Springs Patio Homes and Island Green East has volunteered to put up signs along Freewoods. We're gonna split it, so East is gonna take Freewoods down to Salem Road, and Green Springs is gonna take Freewoods down to Bay Road. So we're gonna have signs, we're gonna be on the internet, we're gonna be in the newspaper.
Can you do a map?
We can do a map, but if we get a lot of participants in this one, then we'll put the effort into a really big map. That way people can come in and they can, click and pinpoint on stuff.
Right.
If we don't, then we're gonna do map by the HOA, so by the specific neighborhood.
Okay, now I have another question. Can you just have a garage sale anytime you want?
You
Oh,
can.
you can?
Yeah.
It depends on your
Well,
HOA.
I don't have an HOA.
She doesn't have
You do have an HOA, and you have rules and regulations, so you'd have to check with them. You probably no restrictions having a yard sale, but we're not gonna tell you.
I thought you just got finished telling me.
No, I didn't tell you that. I told you that the HOA is run by the developer. You have a management company, developer has the HOA. When a community is built out, it's turned over to the owners and residents.
Your management company should send you a packet soon after you move in. I think it took about 2 months to send it to us.
Yeah, because we haven't received anything, but I've got so much stuff from.
Normally they give that day of closing.
Sorry?
They normally give that day of closing.
Anybody who's interested in selling their wonderful, lovely treasures, dust them off, clean out your closets. It's spring, okay? It's a good opportunity to get rid of stuff, and we have found multi-community yard sales are much more successful than just one person putting up, some stuff, especially where it's hard to navigate through here. We don't have, a master map for people to look at when they're driving in. So when we do this, we can support each other. That's it, that's my yard sales spiel.
Are you gonna have a date in case it's calling for rain for 4 days?
For 4 days?
With 3 days, just so
Yeah.
the following
We
weekend or
haven't had
something.
that problem yet, and thanks for bringing it up. We will address that as it comes, but that's why we have a Sunday rain date, and I think in the years I've been here, we've used it once, maybe?
Once.
One time, yeah. But if it happens, I'm gonna call you, and then you can help me call everybody else.
One thing I want to promote, Alice recently designed a new website for us. It's islandgreencsa.com. It's on all the papers, on all the marketing. Please start looking at that, using it. It's a great tool for information and communication. I mean, you did a great job. It is awesome. It's also semi-interactive. There's places where you can ask questions and it'll be emailed to a person. Some of them come to me, some come to Alice, some come to everyone else. I mean, so within 24 to 48 hours, I mean, you should be getting a response. Use the website. Look at it. Use it as a tool. Use it as research. You did a great job on it. And it's just a good way to get information out there.
Absolutely.
That is great, isn't it? I mean, it's a good tool.
When I mentioned the trash before, you know, of course, I'm not gonna go down to the pond or
Please
anything
don't.
like that, cause I'm eating. But, would it be possible, like they do at the beach, like, people could get together on a volunteer basis?
Absolutely.
And take bags and go around and then maybe have like a little picnic there after.
I mean, we encourage as much community involvement and stuff like that. I mean, I see people that are just regular walkers walk around with trash bags, but just be safe around the pond areas, like, you know, but like the streets and the roads, you know,
Be safe on
do
those
it.
too.
The more that we do, the better it is for everyone.
It's just right down at the pond level, you know, if I were to go just right.
I mean, now, once again, everything's a specific HOA, like you're
Yeah.
Green Tree, right?
Right.
If I lived in Green Tree, I'd be contacting my HOA, you know, whatever.
Well, that's not my HOA. They say that's Island Green Springs. It's a pond area.
Well, there's a million ponds back here. I mean, but there's no reason to why, you know, the HOAs, the individual HOAs are responsible for those ponds, can't send maintenance people out or.
Well, it's not their, they say, it's across the street, it's not our HOA.
Okay. I don't. Then whoever the HOA that owns a pond, possibly, can clean up the trash and get eaten by the alligator.
And they say that's Green Springs.
Where do you live?
I live on White Tree Lane.
On what street?
White Tree Lane.
Lane. That's
That's on.
south. That's the south.
Right. Yeah. And so, it's that little pond.
Yeah, I know,
area.
yeah, but it's the south, because you keep saying Green Springs. I'm in Green Springs.
Oh,
Green
I
Springs
see,
is
I
a
see.
homes. It's
Okay.
not the condos.
Okay,
You're the god.
so who would you contact for Green Street?
Debbie Potter. Island Green South, Debbie Potter, or whoever's in charge of Green Tree.
Okay.
The same people that if your roof was leaking, that's who you call.
Cam
Green
takes
Tree.
care.
What?
Green Tree.
Cam takes care of that.
They got bingo night here at all?
Couple years too late.
Yeah. Several years.
I don't know if Myrtle Beach Yacht does it anymore.
Unbelievable.
I don't know if Myrtle Beach Yacht runs one. They used to.
Yeah, they do,
One out
Monday
on
nights.
544.
Monday night.
Yeah, this is perfect right there.
That's what we got.
Bingo.
Okay. Do we have any other?
Well, if there's nothing else, I mean, we're gonna have to bring up something that's just not good news. Fairway Village, which is 137 units, has decided they're backing out of being part of the GSA. This whole CSA started as basically a neighborhood watch. They evolved into a neighborhood watch that coordinated to have security, which has evolved as the community has evolved. Fairway Village, and yes, they have financial troubles, but this is a decision they made. In addition to that, Treetop Court 1 and Treetop Court 2 are also not participating on top of Fairwood Lakes.
Wow.
To summarize all of that, that means that basically 25% of the communities have decided that their selfish interests are better than the whole community. Just to let everybody know how our CSA, everyone CSA is supported, is each HOA contributes $8 per month per unit towards the CSA. That's personally $96 a year. I mean, we all spend $96 a year. What you get for that is the security patrol, you get the security cameras, 9 streetlights on Sunnehanna, a plan and communications to maintain Sunnehanna Road, and stormwater ditch maintenance.
And they're not paying, and
Now,
they're
they're not
still
gonna pay, so that,
utilizing all
that becomes the crux of the question, what do the rest of the HOAs do with this? You know, part of the reason we had no choice but to go from two security guards to 1 was when Fairway Lakes pulled out a year and a half ago, because for us to continue to support 2 licensed guards versus 1, it would have cost each HOA about $12 per unit, which would have significantly increased it. For that reason, because people can't always make it to the daytime meeting, we're having an extra meeting on Monday, the 18th, 10 days from now here. It is very important that you go back to your HOAs and tell them we need people here. Now, we're gonna, at grassroots, we're gonna call the HOAs and be here. We want the HOAs that have decided not to participate to be here too. You know, tell us why. I mean, if you think the best thing for the Island Green community is to just all go on our own and let the infrastructure crumble and not have any kind of security presence, then make that decision. I don't think that's the best decision for the community, but unfortunately, these HOAs are making these decisions aren't the ones that are participating in the regular meetings.
I thought it was the president that was the problem.
Well, that was the president for Fairway Lakes,
Mhm.
and now Fairway Village. I had a nice conversation. The new president that came in, theirs is a little different situation. Fairwood Lakes was just a guy who is an investor, who doesn't care about the quality of the community, just unilaterally said, we're pulling out, because he wants to save himself some money. Fairway Village is in a financial situation. This is a decision that they say they have to make, although, you know, and I said this when I talked to Gary, because he told me that they are going to pull out of participate in the CSA and the security patrols, but they're gonna turn right around and spend money on security cameras. Which I think security cameras are a great idea. Our HOA Fairwood Lakes 3, we bought 3 security cameras. They have been a big tool. But it's kind of hard to tell me that you're pulling back because you don't have the money, but turn around and then you're gonna spend the money. The other thing is too, on a lot of these condos, and this is just an opinion, but for years, the condos have done what they can do not to raise the HOA dues, even though everything in the world is increasing. The cost of construction materials, the cost of utilities, insurance has risen. I mean, I'm just of the opinion that you're not gonna save your way out of your financial problems for these condos. And then what happens is, if anybody goes back to Fairwood Lakes and looks at how much it's deteriorated in the last 18 months, it's sad.
He doesn't do anything.
It's sad, you know, the maintenance on the buildings.
And he keeps raising the fees in there too.
And you're not gonna do anything to stop the raising of the fees. It's honestly something that should have honestly happened years ago, but I mean, there was just a wrongful death investigation in there where the police contacted us to help with the cameras. Now, even though Fairwood Lakes isn't paying, we're not gonna tell the police, we're not gonna give them access to security cameras. But I mean, you can't tell me, you know, and not only that, like this person that was involved in the wrongful death is someone that was terrorizing neighbors for a while. I mean, you know, these are bad people that basically, at least with security, you could call them up and have the patrol go to them and say, hey, can you turn your music down? Can you not be beating your wife up in the parking lot? Can you not be drinking and being loud? Now, if your community doesn't have security, guess who has to go do it? You. Or you just have to put up with it. Because if you call Horry County, they're not gonna be out here anytime quick. But that's where we're at. I mean, we're offering another meeting on the 18th, on Monday. It's really important that all the HOAs come because this isn't a decision that we make. I mean, it's gonna be up to all the HOAs to say how, you know.
Tell them the time, Bob.
Yeah, what time?
6 o'clock, sorry, thank you.
6 o'clock?
6 o'clock.
Yeah.
And Pastor Tommy is being nice enough to let us use his facility here. And hopefully these HOAs, like, we're inviting Kiki Lee, we want him to come here and explain to us why it's better for the community that we don't save money for the roads, or that we don't have a security patrol. And once again, to just put in perspective, it's $8 per person per month is what it's costing. Yes, ma'am.
They can just randomly opt out of helping to pay for lights?
Unfortunately, yes, because if our community was built today, all that would have been put in the governing documents. For example, Island Green South is a perfect example of a CSA. Island Green South has 120 homes and 170 condos. There's 5 different HOAs in there. But when they were formed, the governing documents were put together that you can't leave your CSA. They have a plan on taking care of the road from St. Andrews and down all their roads in there. They take care of the pools and everything else. Unfortunately, because when Island Green was created in the 80s, they weren't thinking about this. So this has always been the honor system. And the honor system works when you have honorable people. Unfortunately, we don't have honorable people now. And for better or for worse, we are all in this community together. We're better off together. And I could understand if it's costing you $50 a person per month. I mean, gosh, that's crazy. But when you're talking less than $100 a year. One less glass of wine. You know? Oh, yeah. Well, that's like an 18-pack of Rolling Rock.
That's a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it possible to rework those covenants and bylaws?
We have
Do
talked
some
to
amendments?
attorneys, and the only way to do it is to get each HOA to voluntarily redo their individual documents, which in each individual case would cause you to have a supermajority, 2/3 or 3/4 to support, where you can't even get a lot of these HOAs to get a 50% quorum. Because that's a tough thing. We've talked to an attorney about this, like, hey, they all use the road. What, how can they just, opt out? Unfortunately, because that was the other thing, like anything else. Fairway Village was participating, but all it takes is, a financial crisis or a new HOA management board to come on board and they can change it. Now, because it was put in place for Island Green South and the Green Tree condos, they can't change it. Yeah, they can get the new board in place and they're stuck. And there's a similar agreement, I don't know all the details, but there's a similar agreement in place for the road agreement back there with Belmonte and that whole area with Dogwood and Oak Estates East. But that's just what we're up against, and that's where we need the guidance from the HOAs, and we will be calling individual HOAs, but we're asking you to go back to your HOAs, tell them someone needs to be here on that Monday meeting and tell them what you want.
But it's not an open meeting, it's just for HOA.
Board members.
Board members, yeah.
Board members,
Otherwise it's gonna be.
And here's the thing, like we're not trying, if your board has 3 people that are active, involved, bring them. Like, we're not trying to close the door on people. Like, we want the information to be there, but we also need it to be organized. Like, unfortunately, a lot of these meetings fall back into just going over the same stuff that we've already gone over. And this is one, plus we take our guidance from the rest of the HOAs. And, unfortunately, right now with 25% not participating, financially, I feel we're okay. I mean, we still optimistically are hoping that Fairway Village changes their minds. But, at some point, we're gonna have to either raise the dues back up. And that's not fair, because now you got less HOAs participating, paying more. Now, the HOAs that aren't participating are not getting the security services. We were trying to be nice, because we're hoping Fairwood Lakes would get on board, but our security company said, listen, we can't go into communities that don't want us there because of their own liability.
Yeah.
But at the same point, once again, when Fairwood Lakes has a wrongful death, I mean, and law enforcement comes to us to ask for our security cameras, we can't tell law enforcement no.
Of course not.
We want law enforcement to be there when we say, we got an issue, can you go get our cameras and help us out with that? And that's where the cameras have helped. I mean, you had the people that vandalized the Island Green East Gate, and the only way we caught them was the license plate reader.
Right.
Has that been explicitly called out to them? That they're walking away and saying, like,
Yes.
if you call us, nobody's coming? I would think that would make them reconsider.
I would think so too. And that was expressed.
And they do tell a woman came in the other night from Fairway Village, and she wanted to complain about somebody playing their radio too loud. And the guard very nicely said, your HOA is no longer participating in the CSA security. You will have to call Horry County. So they're trying politely to do it.
Okay.
It's not that the,
Learning.
I know, and it's a shame, because I feel the same way as you, you know, you never need security till you need it. And once again, for $8 a month, like, all of us can afford $8 a month.
and it's not the people.
And then I think it's the overall, just selfishness that, you know, you're saying, hey, our community, because we're all in this together, for better or for worse. It's not just security, it's the roads, it's the infrastructure. It's saying, you know what, even though you have to drive by us every day, you know, we're not gonna participate.
It's not the people that are the residents.
But are they telling the rest?
Yeah, the board knows, and they sent a notice out to the residents.
Fairway Village sent the notice out to everybody effective March 1st. We're no longer contributing anything.
But it's not the residents that are making those decisions, that you
Right.
can't, the residents want
And
the
Fairway
security,
Lakes, it's their
but it's the
president.
board. And
doesn't even
Fairway
know.
Lakes tried to get rid of that board, and he would not call a meeting. We had, I only own a condo over there, I don't live there. And we had quorum, we had votes to get him out, and he would not call the meeting to accept the votes. We had lawyers and everything else. And so it's the board that makes that decision. The people that, residents there want to be a part of this.
Not to sound spiteful, but is there anything else that can be taken away to incentivize them to come back?
It's the board, you got it, I mean, it's not the people, it's just the
And
board.
once again, we got two totally different animals. Fairwood Lakes, what Jill's talking about, this happened a year and a half ago. This was basically unilaterally a new president and a new board that basically made a unilateral decision. Fairway Village, in all fairness, they have communicated with us. They did send us payment for January and February. It's not an easy decision for them, and that's where we're hoping that they will come back on board, but you know, same thing, when I did talk to Gary and I did talk to their HOA manager, I'm like, and they volunteered this information, you know, we're gonna turn around and buy security cameras. Well, if you don't have the money to participate in the community, how do you do security cameras? And then the other thing that they said is, well, you know, maybe when we get our financials back in order, then we can rejoin. And I told them, well, it might not be here when you want to rejoin. Because what happens is, as more and more HOAs pull out, and the expenses go up because less people are sharing it, more and more HOAs are gonna pull out. That's one of the reasons we had no choice a year and a half ago to go from 2 guards to 1 guard, because realistically, we knew that if we had raised the fees to $12, we were gonna lose other communities that would stay at $8.
So $12 a month?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. This is what they're pulling out over, and now it's currently $8 a month.
$8.
It's $8 a month.
For those of you who are new here, those meetings were recorded that go over a lot of this stuff in detail. So if you go to the YouTube page through your website and you go back to, I think, April or May of last year, you'll be able to see this happening kind of in real time.
So that's basically it. Now, you know, all the newer communities, you know, send them a circle. I do want to talk to you after the meeting. We're going to get together as a group and make sure that we reach out individually, because, you know, unfortunately, our quorum's about half. You know, I do what I think is a good job for my HOA. I'm with Fairwood Lakes 3. I bring the information back to our people. You know, Bill takes it back to Tall Oaks Court. You take it back. I mean, you know, we do our best to bring the information back. But there's some HOAs specifically that, you know, the 2 Tall Oaks Court ones. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anyone here. And they just basically said, no, we're done.
Wow.
Treetops, I'm sorry, treetops.
Court is fine.
You see, even I get confused with these. But that meeting's gonna be that Monday. I mean, contact your board personnel. If you know anybody in Fairway Village, they're having a board meeting, what, April 6th? I mean, now's the time to get involved and tell your board that we don't agree with this decision, but.
But there's nothing that the other HOAs can do, is there? So why have a meeting? You can't make them.
Well, if we're asking the other HOAs what direction we wanna go in. I mean, the direction is basically, we suck it up and raise the dues for the people that wanna participate, or we stop doing it. I mean, I'm hoping that's not gonna be the solution, but I mean, I think every HOA has a limit to where they say, okay, you know, how much they're willing to spend a month. And, you know, if right now 25% are not participating. If 50% are not participating, then it's gonna be a different feeling. And then at some point, it becomes, you know, if you got 50% non-participation, how do you expect security to do anything? And then you have no plans for maintaining the roads. And part of the reason we've gotten respect from the county and the infrastructure people with the county is because up to this point, we had 26 voices speaking as one. Now, we got 75%, and we got 25% of the communities that just care about doing what's in their best interest. So how much more likely you think the county is gonna be to, you know, wanna look out for us? That's what we're up against.
And I think another, Bob, I think another big question is, because people are dropping out, trickling out a little bit at a time, of the group, of the rest of the group, if we have to raise our dues, how many of them are going, we need them here to say, we can't afford anymore, and if you have to raise the dues, we'll be dropping out. We need to know from people who are coming to these this meeting, we're going to need to hear from them what they're gonna do. If Fairwood Lakes is gone and Fairway Village is gone, why should we continue, you know, that's what we hear. And that's a scary thought, and all of us need to be out there talking to our neighbors and telling them what's going on, and express your concerns to your board people so that they can come to this meeting prepared to talk to us in realistic, where do we go from here terms. Yes, sir.
So in regards to that, main purpose of the HOA, or one of the main purposes, is retaining home value.
Yes.
And if you're letting other neighborhoods drop down in value, you're doing that to yourself.
Exactly. But that's the thing, your neighbors need to know what's going on. We all need to be communicating, we all need to be telling our neighbors what's happening with the CSA and what the problems are with keeping this group organized and supported and working, and have them talk to the board people so the board people know that we as a individual Island Green, East is all in favor of supporting this because we want our home values to stay where they are. Or the condos, or whoever you are, whatever HOA you belong to, you need to be communicating with your board and talking to your neighbors and letting them know what is going on so that we can get the support of the whole community.
And that has evidently happened. I mean, this is an opinion, but the deterioration of Fairwood Lakes is obvious. In the year and a half since they decided not to be part of the CSA, and that they decided that they were cutting expenses, the place looks horrible. It's not being maintained. The buildings look horrible, the grounds look horrible, and then what happens is your cost of living, your quality of life goes down. I've watched a lot of good owners sell their properties and move out because they don't want to deal with anything more. That just encourages more bad people, marginal type people that will start moving in there. Not to mention, I own rental properties, I got good tenants. You're always gonna find a tenant. You're just gonna have to stoop down and get the criminals and the people with the lower credit scores and the people that have 18 people living in a one bedroom. You will always find a tenant.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be what does your community suffer. You're not gonna get good tenants. And it is very evident what had happened to Fairwood Lakes in the last year.
And we tried to clean up and do the landscaping and everything at that year and a half ago, and they stopped us. We were out there doing it, and they literally stopped us.
And once again, Fairwood Lakes is a situation where it's a personality. It's basically an individual who has hijacked that board. Fairway Village, we're still hoping they're having a new election now. the same person that runs Fairway Lakes is running to go down Fairway Village, cause he owns numerous units here. He doesn't live here. His whole agenda is just cutting costs, cause
Holding it
in his mind, the more costs he cuts, the more money he makes, I guess.
Yes.
But I mean, they're having a big board election too, so I mean, if that group comes in and he's running that one also, they're just gonna turn around and run Fairway Village in the ground too.
From what I understand, if I understand right, CAMS is part of Island Green South, and we are not allowed to pull out. So we wouldn't pull out.
Well, you're not allowed to pull out of Island Green South, that was the,
Yeah.
But Island Green South could pull out of this,
Yes.
supporting this.
Well, are they talking about it?
No, they're not, I'm just saying, but they could.
But they could.
But they could.
I mean, Island Green South is our biggest group, that's
Yes.
290. I mean, if Island Green South decide they
We're
pull
done.
out, it's done. I mean, we turn off the lights, close the door,
CAMS is
it's
just a
over.
management.
Yeah.
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 They don't have any say.
And once again, not to say that losing treetop 1 and treetop 2 aren't important. They're 12 units and 20 units, which is a lot different than 137 in Fairway Village, 192 in Fairway Lakes.
Yeah.
I mean, we want all the communities to participate, but
It's only
I know.
fair.
And we do have to kind of cut this up because we do have to be done by 12:30.
But you want all the board members.
Yes, board members here, otherwise it's gonna.
And we're gonna be contacting, we're gonna reach out. All of us are willing to talk to anyone on an individual basis. We want Oak Estates East, we want the new Island Green to have a presence. Don't just count on First Service Residential to be there for you. I'm gonna talk to you, see if you can get a couple people from your community. You know, we don't wanna be exclusionary, but we need decision makers there, and we also need to basically not devolve onto things that have happened before. You know, basically, the road's not gonna be magically fixed by Bob Williamson or whoever the new president of the United States is gonna be. They're not gonna make a mandate that Sunnehanna Drive is now a priority. Nikki would've, but she's not in it anymore. We gotta look at what realistic solutions are, not what could be. I mean, it comes up all the time, well, let's invest in a lawyer, we invest in a lawyer, and the lawyer told us exactly what I told you the lawyer told us. It's an honor system. Unfortunately, you need honorable people that
And
work
for
with us.
everybody's benefit, Myrtle Beach Golf Course only has one entrance.
Right.
And they are building on 9 holes.
And their guardhouse is volunteer, to my understanding. They have volunteers in there, not any hired.
Is that a new development?
Yes, along Freewood Road, along Bay Road.
No,
Golf
Murphy's
and
Golf and
Yacht.
Yacht, their guards have been.
No, they're, my
They've been
understanding
paid.
is it's volunteer now.
Now they might be, but I know people that work there, they usually get, old guys in golf carts and they pay them, $8 an hour.
Oh,
but
maybe
they-
going around,
But
but
they were getting paid.
I just checked with my son-in-law, he lives there.
Yeah.
And he said they're paid now.
Oh, okay.
They've been paid as long as I know.
Really? I was told it was
They
volunteer
only
for a
have
while.
one entrance, just like we do.
Yeah, as far as I know, because I've known people that work there, now they primarily do hire from within the community, which is great, hey, part-time job,
understanding it's all
ride a golf
from-
cart 3 nights a week, it's good, but they've always been paid. Now, they're probably getting paid less than, a licensed security company.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
But they all get paid.
Oh, okay, I was told different.
Dan wants to talk, he's got 2 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Motion to adjourn.
How did I know that was you? I gotta go. I want that.
Second, absolutely.